Forgot to do the starting soon screen. That's okay. Edition. Yo, Dark. Yo, Corsair. Okay. What am I doing? Oh, today's a leg day. Hey, White Wolf. I know who that is. I don't know if you realize that your YouTube channel uses your corporate name. I don't need this stuff. I'm just gonna clean up real quick. Okay, lol, yeah, okay. Just checking. Can y'all hear the music at all? It's actually low even for me and my sensitive ears. Sorry, I'm running a little late today also. I guess I'm not that late. I never claimed to be on exactly at 4 o'clock. Music level seems good. Okay, awesome. Since I'm doing a leg day, a quad focus leg day, I wanted to get the second camera situation figured out. Hey, Tech. Why are you crying, Mr. Tote? Totoro's been very toady today. Especially Toti. Welcome to the stream and or the video on demand, aka VOD, if you're watching from the live tab. My name is Chris, aka Terrible Hime, and today I'm gonna do a leg day. After the fact, not right this second, but you know, give me a day or two, I will rate the workout in the description of the video if you would like to have that information. Sorry for the screeches. And I will also say my entire workout program is available for free for Discord members, which is also free. Link is in the description. No pressure to come. It's a very low-key community. The Discord is kind of ultra chill, is what we'll say. I'm gonna move this way over. How's my day? The day is pretty okay, I guess. Pretty fine, pretty normal. Just, you know, work and everything else. Oh, I will not be streaming next week. I guess I should have been announcing this, but next week I will be in New York City again for a work thing, and I won't be back home until Friday. So no stream next week unless I feel like really gung-ho on a Saturday or Sunday, which is highly unlikely, to be honest. You got a mega cold last weekend, it's still fucking you up? Bruh. I stay being sick for a long ass time. I'm kind of not surprised you haven't fully recovered after just a week, but I'm sure that it will get better over time, you know? Prioritize your sleep, prioritize eating some nutritious ass foods. Take it easy. Do a chillax. Hopefully you'll be fully recovered soon. Yeah, also thank you everybody for always showing up for the YouTube streams. I am hoping that I don't get sick in New York, but it's a much more low-key event, so fingers crossed. Right, Tote? Right, Tote? Right, Tote? I don't have treats down here. This toast real long today. Okay. That's what I'm looking like lately. Have, I would say, gained a pound or two since the Zen Bro. Well, since the Zen, no, not the Zen Bro. Since the Ape Classic, I've definitely gained like 4 or 5 pounds. But in the last week or so, maybe like 1 pound. I'm trying to maintain for now, but you know, maybe this is a slow bulk. Yo, Zezel. 152 this morning. What's up, Sweet Lou? Pants are very bright. They're less bright in person. Maybe also it's the screen. So I don't know if I mentioned this since the last time. No, I think I did. I have, you know, in the last week or so, gotten back on a serious workout schedule. I think it's going well so far. I'm having, this is the updates. This is the Terrible Hime updates portion of the stream. Yo, what's up, Georgie? Yeah, I'm having a little bit of trouble recovering, specifically on my leg stuff, but I'm hoping that over the next few weeks, I'll just get used to it. But if I don't, I might have to switch the program up again. We shall see. Hey, Anna. Hey, Acro. Yeah. So the main difference with the workout program I'm doing now and the one I was doing before, they are very similar, but I have incorporated, so I was doing like upper push, upper pull, lower pull. The main difference is that I'm incorporating one exercise for the opposite muscle group on the day. So like on my lower pull day, I'm doing, voice cracking, lower pull day, which is like glutes, hamstrings, calves, focus. I'm also doing one set of leg extensions, which is quad focused. Vice versa on the push days, which is today, mostly stuff for my quads, and adductors, but I'm also doing one set of leg curls, and I'm mostly having trouble with my hamstrings and posterior chain not recovering in time. But today I'm feeling pretty okay. I think it's because my previous pull, lower body pull focused workout, I did sumo deadlifts, which does not actually target the hamstrings as much. But it, you know, it gets some of the glutes and it does get the quads as well. So anyways, I'm not mad about it if I'm like less sore today, but typically like, bro, when I do RDLs, I'm like pretty fucked up. So anyways, we'll see how that goes. My upper back is super sore from the deadlifts though. As is always the case for me. I really use a lot of my upper back when I do deadlifts. Of course, like lower back as well, a little bit, but my lower back is not sore, especially for like sumo where you're standing more upright, but just like from tensing when I do deadlifts or sumo deadlifts, I get fucked up. Anyways, I'm just doing like some low-key walking around trying to warm up. I usually just warm up on the exercise that I am doing. As always, comments, questions, and concerns, put them in chat. Don't wait. Don't ask if you can ask a question. Just ask your question. That's what we're here for. Still working on the Japan vlog. It'll get posted eventually. Eventually, I feel like, is it gonna get posted before we go back to Japan? Hopefully, we'll see. I think I need to do another editing pass. It's like 2 hours long. It's gonna stay 2 hours long. Not even gonna try to break it up into separate videos. It's just gonna be super long. At this point, it's more like for me and like having some memory keeping thing for the trip, because I was so preoccupied taking videos that I didn't really get any photos. But I want to have something from the trip, and I think I'm gonna do another editing pass and just try to get it down just a little bit more. But then I'm gonna let it roll, and I'm gonna do a mega voiceover and just like word vomit anything and everything I can think of. Would be hilarious to have a second Japan vlog come out immediately after the first. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do next year, because I feel like what I did for this year was neither efficient nor aesthetic, nor particularly informative. I have to like, I don't know. I think I need to like narrow it down, maybe. I think I need to do just like maybe everything we ate in Tokyo or something like that, instead of trying to capture like anything and everything, so that like I can kind of like focus fire on something instead of trying to like get a little bit of everything. But we'll see. Who knows? I love watching vlogs from Japan, especially like aesthetic ones, but I just can't be that person. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm way too like lawful anxiety to like take videos in public and in shops with a lot of other people, and there are a lot of people in Japan. So yeah, just like getting some video of like the outside of restaurants and like the food and me eating was not that big a deal. It's like everything else. So like all the footage I have is like 75% eating and food related, and it's like very disjointed. But we'll see what happens. Who knows? I also have other plans for videos that I need to like work on. Mostly like planner stuff. Okay, let's see what's going on with this workout today. Starting out with leg extension machine. I'm doing doubles and then singles. Oh, and then leg press and then leg curls. Okay, perfect. So I set up this other camera. Let's see, everything seems fine. I don't want to move it too much, but I might just... I know it's very like lopsided, unfortunately. Oh, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes. Ooh, it's struggling. It's really struggling. Hopefully, seems smooth. Seems like it's doing the thing. Okay. I have a lot of thoughts and feelings about leg extensions, but the first thing that I'm gonna do is like put it on basically the lightest weight possible and just like warm up a tiny bit. So one thing I struggle with, which probably most people struggle with unless you're like super inflexible or completely massive, is that leg extension machines don't really offer a very good range of motion for your quads. Basically, like for me, it's basically just at 90 degrees, like the angle between my calf and my thigh, which is not the best. So I have to finagle the machine to force my quad into a more stretched position. Right now, I'm not really doing much because I just want to like warm up a little bit, but I will show you what I do. Random twerk is random, yeah. Okay. How am I feeling? Inner thighs are sore. I guess my inner thighs have also not recovered since the last lower body push day, but it's fine. I'm gonna just like do the thing. If I have to do less weight today and just not push myself on those things, like that's fine. but I wanna just get in the habit. Don't freak out, bro. Okay, so first thing I do for the leg extensions to put my quads in a more stretched range of motion, I have the back of the machine or the back of the seat literally all the way back, like completely as far as it will go. So like normally it can be up here. I have it, well, now I messed it up. I have it as far back as possible. And when I sit down, yo, what's up, Savar? When I sit down, I'm gonna try to like plank backwards on it to elongate this portion of my body, to make this angle, the angle between my torso and my hips, as obtuse as possible. Hey, Urban Prince. So that's the first thing. You wanna almost trying to put yourself in a laying down position, basically trying to mimic like, what is this? Like these things, like standing sissy squats, Dio squats, right? The second thing is, I'm using these yoga blocks against the footrest, in between the footrest and my shins, to force my leg back farther, right? So I'm stretching at the hip, and then I'm also like forcing my leg back farther like this. So everybody knows this like classic quad stretch. This is basically what I'm trying to mimic in the machine. So I got these like foam yoga blocks, right? So I'm gonna start out with my first set. I'm just gonna use 50 pounds on the machine, which is like pretty low on this machine, but it's pretty brutal. If I'm getting like a fuck ton of reps, I'll just increase the weight for this one. So you see I put the yoga blocks in between the footrest and my shins. When I do the exercise itself, I might also like try to point my feet, and then I'm like planking on the machine. So basically it's like my butt touching the seat and my upper back touching the back of the seat. You see how like stretched out my legs look, like my quads specifically. I can put more power on the way up, but I'm letting it down super slow and controlled. Oh my God, okay. And then the last thing, actually during that exercise, my toes were pointed up. So, negate what I said earlier. But the last thing I try to force myself to do is come to a complete stop at the bottom of the movement before initiating it again, so that I am definitely not swinging the weight, which is not what I want. I don't want to like rebound. I don't want to go use the momentum from coming down to go back up. Okay, I do think I need to increase the weight for that because that was like 20 reps. So I'll increase the weight to 60 pounds. In machine terms, machine weight terms, I would prefer to like not be doing 5 million reps. It just takes a long time. Welcome to the terrible Hime stream, the workout tutorials that nobody asked for. Excuse me, what? I don't know what that word is. It got completely bleeped out. YouTube moderation is no joke, bro. Please. It is me. Oh, it is you emphasizing the I. Okay, I thought like the whole word got bleeped out. Are you planning to go to a commercial gym? Is that what that means? I want to also emphasize that this is not necessary for everyone. I have probably a better, like more range of motion than most people. And I always struggle to feel the stretch in my quads specifically. Mostly still doing stuff at home, but you're also biking to work. Gotcha. But maybe someday. Yeah, so if you don't have any trouble with the leg extension machines, like don't feel like you need to try any of these things, but if for some reason you suspect that you're not making the most of this exercise, you can give it a shot. Somehow it feels like I'm putting on weight even though I'm doing more active stuff than ever and not eating different. I mean, honestly, Dark, I would suggest to you, if you haven't already, like take progress photos. You know, I know a lot of people feel some type of way about taking progress photos. They don't necessarily like taking pictures of themselves and their body, but like I would honestly suggest like you take the photo if you don't want to look at it, put it in a folder, just don't forget where it is. And then you have something to compare yourself to, right? Because it's very hard to see progress when you look at yourself every day, or if you're not using a bathroom scale or something like that. So I don't know, it's just a suggestion. Sometimes, I mean, even for myself, sometimes I don't feel like I'm making that much progress because I feel like I've looked the same for years and years, you know, relatively fit, but also relatively the same. But it's when I compare now and before that I can really see a difference, even though like my general body shape is normally the same. If I look about the same, but I weigh like 10 pounds more, that means that I probably put on like 10 pounds of muscle. Do you know what I'm saying? So would highly suggest that if you haven't done that already. Okay, set 2, I already upped the weight to 60 pounds on the machine. I'm gonna follow the same protocol. Okay. Only 14 on that set. The lactic acid was really building up. Hey, Basalt. You're not here, you're working. Okay. Good luck with your work. I feel like the Stream Deck software updates constantly and completely breaks my Stream Deck. So I haven't really been using it. So I think I'm gonna stay with 60 pounds on that machine specifically, because 14 was pretty good. It's a pretty good drop off. When I'm doing the rep, because I'm trying to have like a slow eccentric, slow on the way down, I'm counting to 3 in between the reps. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. I'm counting that in my head. So I can try to keep the reps like relatively consistent. I'm also really trying to focus, since this is a bilateral exercise, I'm really trying to focus on pushing the same with both legs, which is very difficult. And sometimes it feels like it's like, you know, pushing a little bit here and there, but I'm just like doing the best that I can. I do have, the next exercise is the same, but I'm doing it one leg at a time. So that will help a little bit with correcting any imbalances. But I want to get the double leg in first and use up most of my energy in that. So for people that are part of the Ape Discord, I'm really bad at side chest pose. You would think with my rather prodigious chest that I'd be better at it, but I'm really bad at it. I don't have good arms, that's the problem. So like my arms look really bad. I mean, they don't look, like from the side pose, like they don't look that good in general. But like, it almost looks like mostly just me smashing my arm against my side. But Daya was saying that you have to like, flare the lats more. I'm just saying. We'll say my arms are a weak point when it comes to my physique. Just generally speaking and logically speaking, my arms have always been a weak point. Partly because I don't prioritize them, and partly because they're just really long. So it's hard to actually like look muscular. Like, I don't know, like you guys can see like how, y'all can see how long my arm is. The longer you are, the like more difficult it is to be visibly muscular. Okay, this is my last set of double leg extensions. Oh, jeez. That was 13 reps and I'm stuck. I have to like manually click on the scene that I want to be in. The inconvenience of it all. Okay, so 3 sets of that, and then I have 3 sets of single leg extension, 3 sets of leg press, 2 sets of leg curls, and then 3 sets of adduction, which is in. I feel like there's a hair on my back. Feel it. It's right there. Did I get it? I swear it's there. Maybe this is my better side. Hard to say. Generally what side do I normally do? This pose is my better side. This feels more unnatural. No, is this the better side? Now I can't remember. Ooh, losing my shit. Okay. First set of single leg extensions. Hopefully you all can see it decently. I can't see the monitor when I'm over here, so I don't know. Anyways, since this is single leg, I'm reducing the weight back down to 30. I'm just gonna go 1 leg right into the other. I'm gonna completely like get the other leg out of the way also. But same protocol as the double leg. Oh, golly. Okay, 13 on that side. So it doesn't matter how I feel, I'm gonna match it on the other side. Even if I feel like I could get more, I'm only gonna do exactly 13. Oh, yeah, that burns. Okay. I'm gonna stay at that weight. Like, it looks fine here, but not down here. Like, why? Why is that? Such a big difference. Am I into gangster shows and movies? Not specifically. I would say the only gangster show I've seen semi-recently is like JoJo Part 5, if that even counts. Like, not really. Sort of, but not really. I'm more like sci-fi, fantasy, adventure, cooking. Oh, Penguin on Max is good. I mean, I do actually want to watch that, I think. I don't know, man. Yeah, I want to watch that. It kind of like slipped my mind, but I have heard decently good things about it, I think. So, just haven't gotten around to it. We're just like not watching a lot of stuff lately because we're playing a lot of Minecraft. So, we'll like watch something while we eat dinner, and then just play Minecraft for the rest of the night. So it doesn't leave a lot of time for like longer shows. But yeah, that was actually on my watch list, I guess I would say. I guess I don't really think of it as like a gangster movie. Like I understand why you would say like gangster show, but to me, like, since it's like comic book related, I wouldn't necessarily categorize it like that personally. I do think Colin Farrell is like a good actor though. I'm not against it. Okay, let me do set 2. I think I might have to like retire these pants. They kind of like don't really make me feel that great. But at the same time, they were like $100. They were very expensive when I bought them, so. Oh! So far back, though. Okay, I did this wrong. How do I get into machine again? I gotta use this leg to get it up and then get the other leg out of the way. Okay, here we go. I need this lower. Okay. Oh god, another 13 reps. I hope that the hotel, I know the hotel I'm staying at in New York has a fitness center. I hope it's even just like somewhat decent. I didn't look, and I didn't see pictures online. Although I guess I could see what's in the area and do like a day pass or something, but I'm also like not trying to go hard. I always go hard since I don't normally work out. at a commercial gym. I like go way too hard whenever I'm like visiting a commercial gym, like with friends or something. Also just like the novelty of using different equipment. I'm like always super fucked up. They do have some really nice gyms in New York, though. What's wrong with them? What's wrong with what? Normally, you're just like the Penguin. Oh, normally, oh, okay. Normally, you just like the Penguin. Like he's just like not your favorite like Batman villain, is what you're saying, right? Song sounds like the theme from a 70s cop movie. It does. I mean, this is the funk playlist, which happens to be like my favorite playlist on Epidemic Sound. I don't know where we're at in this playlist. I can't tell. But yeah, it's pretty like 70s pop. Oh, you said you don't like the pants. I feel like they're like too high. I feel like the waist is like too high. Like it's so high, but then the length of the pants is like a little short. Yeah. I just like don't feel that good. I think it's also like, I don't know if you can really tell. It's kind of hard to see. The way that they're cut right here, I feel like this seam makes, I mean, real talk, like just about anyone, it feels like it makes you look like you have like a long ass, which is not the vibe that I'm going for. I think usually kind of like a more curved seam makes your butt look better. But that's maybe also just a personal preference. Can you get them tailored? There's the thing about that, like athletic wear, like leggings, is that the seams are all flat locked. So if you don't know what that means, it's basically like the two overlapping pieces of fabric, anywhere there's a seam, the two pieces of fabric are put like this, like flat like this, and then sewn, right? But in most regular clothes, the two pieces of fabric are like, they're not on top of each other like this. They're like sandwiched and sewn this way. So it like opens up. I don't think I'm explaining this well, but basically I could take them in myself. I could alter them myself, but it will never be the same as like the way they were originally created, because I don't have the ability to sew that way, if that makes sense. I actually do have a flat lock machine, but yeah, it's just not the same when you do that kind of stuff at home, because they have machines that like trim the fabric really close together. And yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's also like one thing that I do like about these pants is that there is no seam and no elastic here at this fold over. It's like they took one long piece of fabric and folded it and then sewed it here. so there's nothing that irritates my stomach. So if I tried to shorten it, I would have to remove the seam here and then shorten it. Believe me, like, this is something that I know a lot about, and it's really not possible to get your athletic wear tailored, specifically leggings, athletic wear tailored in such a way that it'll be the same as the way you want it. It's just like not really possible for like somebody with a normal sewing machine to do. Because believe me also when I tell you that I could easily do that myself and it's not worth it. It's not hard to just like fold something over and sew it smaller, but then you have all these like raised seams that dig into your skin, and which is not what you want when you're wearing athletic wear. You want the nice flat sewn seams. Yeah, all flat sewn on these. Probably time to give it away, maybe. And I don't have any friends, I think, that I know that work out that would fit this size, unfortunately. I gave away like literally like 20 pairs of leggings to JD Gaines because they were all too small for me and they fit her like perfectly. But I don't have anyone in my life that like works out that's kind of like slightly larger than me, I guess. Maybe Apothecary, but I don't think that they would like how short they are because Carrie is even taller than I am. You're the kind of person that would just throw them away before altering. I am not that kind of person. In some ways I am. There's a lot of things that I will just give away. But I'm also the kind of person that has the ability to alter stuff myself. So I have done that in the past. I just genuinely do not think it is worth it for athletic wear like this. They're also a little ratty. I don't know if I would feel good about giving them away. They were expensive when I bought them, but I am like I'm hard on my clothing. I don't wash it with the right settings because I'm lazy. So they're honestly not really in great shape. Everything I gave to Jade was like almost brand new because I bought it and then just immediately got too big to wear it, so I never really used it that much. Ooh, I think I yapped too much in between sets. I got 14 reps on that. That was a hard 14, but still. I gotta remember to take some Converse, I guess, on my trip. Okay, 14. What's up, Mr. Oddity? Yeah, I also feel bad about, like, some stuff I don't feel bad about throwing away, like cheaper things or like donating, but I do feel a little guilty when it's like something that's essentially new or something that's a little bit on the more expensive side. You're feeling better. I'm glad to hear that. So I did 14 on that set. Next I'm going to do leg press. We will see what I end up doing. This is like my figuring out what weights I'm doing cycle. So my program is 8 days. 8 days of workouts, but I only work out 4 or 5 days a week. I'm trying to be better about working out 5 days a week, but sometimes I'm just not really up for it, or I'm just lazy and I don't, which is fine. Not a big deal. So call it, was it microcycle? Mesocycle? I don't think it's mesocycle, probably microcycle. So yeah, this is like right now I'm just like figuring out what I'm doing weight-wise for the new workout plan. I'm gonna do like 1 set of warm-up. I know my quads are already like warmed up a little bit. Well, they are definitely warmed up, but just to like see how I feel. I'm not gonna change the camera because I'm honestly scared to like move that one around. It's kind of in a fiddly position, or the cables are a little fiddly, I would say. So when I'm trying to focus more on my quads for leg press, I have my feet as far down on the landing pad as possible. And I also keep my feet a little closer together. When I have my feet farther apart, I use way more adductors. I use my inner thighs way too much. And I would rather focus more on my quads and use the dedicated adductor machine for that. Yeah, if you want to target your glutes more, you can put your feet higher up on the landing pad and you might get a better stretch in your glutes. So I'm just gonna do like a couple reps to get the feel of it. So like right now, I know you can't really see, but my feet are like just about at shoulder width apart, maybe a little closer than that. I honestly wish that this machine was even more adjustable. I think I'm gonna do 130 today, see how that goes. And if I have to adjust the weight for the next rep, I will. Because I wish that landing pad was even lower. Work out 8 days a week. I mean, I honestly don't even recommend people to work out 7 days a week, unless a couple of those days are active recovery days. Just don't think that working out every day allows for enough rest and recovery. Or you're working out every day sub-maximally. Not that you need to like max out for every workout, but I just like don't think that most people can push themselves hard enough to really get that progressive overload working out 7 days a week. See, now the music does not even sound like funk. Now it sounds like rock. But it is definitely the funk playlist. Can't find the song. It's far down on the list. Okay, I'm gonna do my first set. Actually, I don't know, maybe I should change the name of the stream to Follow Along Leg Day. If somebody were to take this to the gym, they probably genuinely could follow along with it. Okay. Okay, 16 reps. I think I'll probably keep it there. Welcome in, Night. Ooh, I got a tiny bit lightheaded. What weight was that? 130. So I'll stay with 130. I think that was a good weight. The rep count will probably go down with each set anyways. I need to film some planner videos this weekend. I found an old planner from 2023 that I thought I threw away. I couldn't find it because I had removed the cover. So it's very incognito in my shelves, but I think I actually want to do like a video about that planner because it's from a brand that nobody really talks about. Hey, William, good to see ya. So I think it will have some merit. Yeah, and then some of my other planners. I actually I did something slightly unhinged. I don't know. I think that probably most of the people in the stream right now don't necessarily watch my planner videos or like watch for support, not specifically for like the content. But the little planner that I was using for grocery shopping, I basically tore it apart and I bought a ring planner, like a binder, but like really small. And I hole punched all the pages and put it into that. And it's like slightly unhinged, but I'm like very happy with it. I really like it like this. And I'm basically using it as my wallet right now. So instead of having like my wallet separate and taking this little planner with me, it's all in one package. Okay, set 2. But it was a very strange thing to do, especially because I had already purchased the same small planner to use in 2025. So we'll see what happens with that if I also decide to rip that apart. I could always like try to sell it, I guess, but I think I'm probably just gonna rip it apart. I think I need to utilize the like the posting feature. I'm not sure what that's called. I'm not even sure if I can use it. But the thing where like you can like almost make like an Instagram post for your YouTube community. I don't know what that's called, but I feel like I should utilize that more often to see like what the planner people are interested in. I also need to do that instant ramen video because I still have all that ramen laying around. Oh, okay, that was another 16. I can really feel my hamstrings engaging, but that's fine. One more set of that and then leg curls. Sorry, I need to check my phone for a second. You're at work? You're heading out. Okay, see you later, Mr. Oddity. Maybe, hopefully work is slow for you and you're not gonna get in trouble. Okay, last set of this. I don't think there's anything I can really do about engaging so much of my hamstrings. Although I will say, specifically on like my quad focus day, I do try to push a little harder, specifically through the ball of my foot rather than the heel. Like generally speaking, trying to use all of my foot, but just emphasizing, what's up, Mopar? Emphasizing a little bit more of the ball, and I think that kind of like engages my quads a little better. No specific science behind that. That's just kind of a feeling that I get. Okay. 15 on that. Minecraft. PC, got your PC running hates you and you don't know why it keeps beeping at you, freezing and crashing. I wonder if it's overheating. Usually, if my computer like randomly freezes and shuts down, it's because it's overheated. But you also might want to look into, if you haven't checked already, for any like software updates, driver updates, anything like that. Single leg curls. Okay, I have to do the lightest weight for these, which is 30 pounds. Okay, I think I might just... I think I can very carefully angle this other camera a little bit. I'm so scared that I'm gonna mess this up. Ah! You'll see the weird way that I do the leg curls one leg at a time, but it's a little weird. How am I feeling? I'm feeling okay. Generally speaking, a little sore. I feel like my voice has been pretty good for a bit, and then all of a sudden, like today, I did have to do a lot of talking today. Normally, I'm like throughout the day almost completely silent, but I actually had to like present, yeah, I guess I did present in a meeting today, so I was probably talking for like an hour straight. That's probably why. How are the kitties? They're doing fine. Totoro's doing a lot better. We might have to take Mafik to the vet. Nothing serious. I think he's just having a hard time getting over this cold that they have now that Totoro's feeling much better, you know? I've been having like really bad sleep lately. And just like so restless. It's pretty hot right now, especially for like November. It's almost like 80 degrees out. What's the temperature right now? It's like 70 degrees out in November, and we had already like turned off the air conditioning, so it's like pretty hot at night. So it's I think it's feeding into my restlessness. And then I also just like get up a lot to pee. So I'm trying to not drink any liquids after dinner. So typically by the end of dinner, it's like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. I'm trying not to drink any liquids after that. Maybe just like a sip of water here and there if like my throat is really dry, but yeah. You need to check out the temperatures on the PC. It keeps sounding like a vacuum. Yeah, I mean, if your PC is running really hot, the fans will probably kick on really hard to try to get it to not be so hot. So yeah, I mean, if you also check also to see if you have any like programs running in the background that you don't normally have running, or maybe got settings got changed or something, because that could also be a thing. Okay, I'm gonna change the camera. Okay, single leg curls it's definitely not as easy as doing the double leg curls, because you're kind of like locked into the machine a little bit more. So what I do is I set up like I'm gonna do a double leg, but then when I actually do the exercise, and it also works out because for leg curls, to get more of a stretch, I try to lean forward in the seat anyways, but I just basically, and obviously this doesn't really work if you're not flexible enough to touch your toes, but I usually just grab my foot and like hold it up, so I know that I'm for sure like not using it to push the weight. You could also, I guess, like probably hold your calf or something like down here to keep your other leg out of the way. This is just like what works best for me. So I think I got 12 on the left side. On that side too. Whatever I do on one side, I have to match it on the other side. I will say that my left side is a little bit more sore today than the right side, for sure. Especially like right here in this part of my leg. So I don't want to like overtake it with my typically stronger side anyways. Do you know what I'm saying? So always start with your weaker side, whatever side that is, and then match it with the stronger side. Legs not recovering, sleep is shit, it's too hot, bruh. Are we the same person? They are stitch, folded, stitch again. I feel like I missed part of the conversation. Aki, they are stitch folded. Are you working on like a cosplay or something? Or I don't know what. Maybe you're somebody that makes clothing, IRL, for your work. Hottest November in Scottish history, hate to see it. Something, something, global warming, something, something. I'm trying to be better with my sleep though. I think that since I stopped drinking liquids as much as possible after dinner, I do think it has helped. I still wake up a lot in the middle of the night, but last night it was only like 3 times instead of like 6 times. But yeah, also I definitely, like, I'm not just saying this, I'm not the kind of person to really like self-diagnose stuff. I think I'm the opposite. I'm usually the kind of person that will be like, I'm totally good, there's nothing wrong with me. But I genuinely think that I have like restless leg syndrome, and it's really weird. I think I was talking to Sega-san about it one time. Like he was asking like, what does it feel like? I think he suspected he had something similar. And it's so hard to explain, but I've kind of been feeling it in my back also. Just like, yeah, I don't know how to explain like what it is, but it's just very difficult to like fall asleep or sit still or even sit at all sometimes or lay down. Also, fireworks have been uber common, and let's just say a lot of delinquents exist around you, so 4 a.m. explosion. Jeez. You might be trying to get back to that country living though. Okay, set 2. What a time to be alive. I'm here for a short time. I'm here for a good-looking time, not a long time. In the event of a global meltdown or cataclysmic US-based or global event, just leave me here to die. Like, not in like in no way am I saying that I have some kind of death wish or that I am in any way planning to unalive myself, but you know, don't worry about yourself. Be responsible for your own games in the event of a total world annihilation. Definitely have some sort of condition because your body does not get the memo about not moving or talking. You're having an intense dream. Live fast, die young, leave a good-looking corpse. Yeah. I mean, is that... I have an uncle that used to sleepwalk when he was a kid. I don't know like what the specific... I do think most people will move around in their sleep. Joey talks in his sleep on a regular basis. It's usually pretty funny if I catch him doing it. He's also elbowed me a couple times. Not just like turning over and like going back to sleep, like an actual like elbow. So I think that's a relatively like normal thing, unless it's just like consistently every night or you're having like full-on conversations with people and not remembering because you were asleep at the time. But yeah, you might consider doing like a sleep study. Also, I don't know what's wrong with that camera. I'm sorry. It's fucky wucky. We're just gonna have to deal with it. Yeah, I'm telling you, bro, leg curls are so brutal. 12 again. Okay, 12 and 12. Ugh. Woo-wee, Mr. Poopy Butthole. At least he didn't sit up and punch you. Yeah, Joey apparently did that to his ex one time. You get it. You love modern tech. If zombie apocalypse happen, I ain't trying to scavenge trash and fight other people to eat a can of peas. Same, big mood. Yeah, definitely. Somehow was not watching live until now. Oh, sorry, Aki. I'm actually like not sure how. Maybe if you, I don't know how that works. Okay, but I'm guessing that you're up to the live part of the stream. So you were probably responding to when I was talking about like my pants being flat locked instead of like folded together. You've had sleep studies in the past and they just say, yeah, the results are inconclusive or you have hypersomnia, but we don't know why. Oh, damn, Baron. Okay, well, welcome to the present. You're like a spin dryer when you sleep. You get to sleep with a nice bed, but you wake up in the morning with blankets on the floor and bed sheets in a pile and the pillows near your feet. I definitely, sometimes I like, you know, Maryland weather is no joke when it comes to like the way it flip-flops. Around this time of year and like in spring, it's like I'm going to bed feeling really hot, so I'll have like one really light blanket, but it'll get freezing cold in the middle of the night and I'll have to like scrounge around for another blanket at like 3 in the morning. It's very frustrating. Do you need it cold or you prefer cold to sleep or do you like more neutral? I am a cold, it's gotta be cool. I'm a fan on all year round kind of sleeper. I like my face to be cool, but the rest of my body probably needs to be like at least covered with something. Sometimes I like to say that I was not made to exist in the world because why was I made in such a way that I cannot actually sleep? I was in Indiana. If I woke up and could see your breath in the winter, it was the right temperature. Holy, okay, I'm not that crazy. Ariel. Uh-oh, I gotta write down my reps. Okay, just one more exercise. We're doing the adduction. And I know I can only do about 50 pounds on this machine. I'm gonna do a warm-up though, because although I did engage these muscles a little bit, especially during the leg press, I want to be careful. I want to be careful. Here, it gets colder in winter, so those recharging heating devices are great to put under the blanket when temperatures get really low. Like a modern hot water bottle. I feel like my house it does get cold in Maryland, and like in our house, we keep the temperature pretty cool in the winter. I think like I don't know what it is in Celsius, but like maybe upper 60s. Fahrenheit. So I don't typically need something to help keep me warm, but I don't think people usually use like a small heating device for blankets. Usually we just get like a heating pad, which is kind of like, usually like, you know, like this by this, and you plug it into the wall like electric, or you get an electric blanket. When I lived with my parents, when I was younger, we lived in a house that didn't have heating or air conditioning, and I had to use an electric blanket sometimes. Or we would go up to upstate New York to visit my grandparents. I also don't think that they lived in like a really old farmhouse. I also don't think that they had heating and cooling, so probably had to use an electric blanket up there too. Sometimes I go on Google Maps to look at where my grandparents used to live. All my grandparents have passed. We've been passed for a while. But I haven't been to upstate New York in a very long time, and sometimes it's interesting just to like see. I don't even know if their house is still there anymore. My great aunt used to live across the street, and one of the surrounding neighbors actually bought the property when my great aunt passed. Also, she was a total bitch. I did not like that lady. You know, I'm just calling it like it is. I'm not trying to like badmouth dead people, but I just call it like it is. I did not like her very much, but one of the like surrounding neighbors bought the property, and I think either remodeled the entire house or just like tore it down and put up a new house. Okay, this is my warm-up set. I'm not even gonna do like a full set. I'm just gonna do like a couple reps just to get the feel for it. Also, like a weight this light, for me, it like doesn't really put my legs in the stretch position very well. When the weight is heavier, usually the thing like really opens up. The muscles, the gooch. One of my uncles still lives in upstate New York. My parents and my brother went up to visit him recently, I think. The thing is, they never invite me to these things, so it's like, oh, we went up to see your uncle. And I'm like, wow, cool. Nobody told me until after the fact, but it's fine. I don't necessarily want to be stuck in a car with my parents and my brother for like 8 to 10 hours. Take a short break and then do the full set. You are back. Welcome back, bath salts. Are you done with work? Remember seeing when there was snow in Texas, cold weather, people had no heating in homes, so they would get those electric blankets and portable heating devices. Yeah, it's really bad in Texas when they get snow because they don't have the infrastructure to handle snow. That's why a lot of people like didn't have heating and stuff like that. And honestly, I think quite a few people passed away. Might have to be an impromptu arm day tomorrow because your legs are so fucked up, bro. So like when we get snow in Maryland, we're used to having snow. So it's not really like that big of a deal. Like if you get snowed in and you can't leave your house, chances are that you'll, unless it's like a mega blizzard, chances are you'll be able to get out in a couple days and you'll probably have like your electricity back in a couple days. But it's not like that in Texas because they don't have like snow plows. They don't have like the salt that they put on the sand. We have that stuff like stockpiled in Maryland. You can see sometimes when you drive down the highway, there's like these big kind of almost like pyramid shaped silos where they keep it. But, oh my God, Joey fucking blew my mind the other day when he said that some places in Japan use, is it kinetic energy tiles? Where it takes like the energy of people walking on them and it turns it into electricity. And like, I thought that shit was crazy. I was like, why don't they put that everywhere? That makes so much sense, especially in such a busy place. In some places in Tokyo that are like super busy. But also in Japan, some places in Japan, instead of like using like salt and sand for snow removal, they have an irrigation system where it's basically just like trickling water when it snows. It comes up from the ground and the water just trickles around so that the ice can't form because of the running water. And it's like so smart. The salt and the sand that we use here, specifically in Maryland, is actually like really bad for your cars. It kind of like corrodes the outside of your car and the bottom of your car over time. Hey, Hotep. So it's like so smart. They also specifically like use that method in Japan for like the train systems. So the railings don't ice over. Salt is also really bad for the ground. I don't think that it's like salt that kills plants. I think we call it salt. I don't necessarily know that it's not like table salt. I'm sure it's not great for the ground, but like, believe me when I tell you, especially in Maryland, they have to like bring out teams of like people to trim down the vegetation around the highways because it gets so overgrown. I'm gonna do my first set. So like, that's what we call it. I don't necessarily know what it's made of, if that makes sense. Sorry if it's like a misnomer or if it's confusing, but like the water for ice prevention in Japan like really blew my day. Not blew my day, blew my mind. It didn't blow my day. I thought it was really cool. No, I don't think Dark is talking about asphalt. I was talking about like what we use in the US to prevent roads from getting icy during the winter. The asphalt is just like what some states use to pave the roads. Hoping to see many different ways to create electricity in the future. Yeah, honestly, like the kinetic tiles, like next time we're in Japan, which will probably be in 2025, around May. Gotta get your recovery sleep. Okay, I will see you tomorrow in Discord or in somebody else's stream. Hopefully you know wake up sore tomorrow. Okay, fingies crossed for you. But if I see those tiles, I'm gonna like really subtly just like do the penguin walk. Even if the street salt used to get rid of snow isn't pure regular salt, it's quite bad for the ground. It kills a lot of microbes extra living in it, which in turn has a larger effect on local ecology and environment. Makes sense. What do they use in your country for icy streets? Anybody? What do they use for icy streets where you live? I do think a lot of what they probably use in Maryland is also just straight up sand and not necessarily like at all salt based. It's that kind of like, it looks like, I don't know. It looks like the kind of sand they have near the Chesapeake Bay. And obviously, if you like don't live near the Chesapeake Bay, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But it almost looks like, it doesn't look like playground sand. It's kind of like this orange color, orangey yellow color. It's very like gritty. It's not like playground sand. It's not like white sand. It's like really like gritty. And it usually has like a lot of little rocks in it. That's what it looks like. Sand can be useful to create grit if the snow sets enough to become ice. What's up, James? Would love to see a video of those electric tiles in action. I'm not sure what they look like. I think I might look it up. I've been thinking about these tiles a lot lately. I should probably just like look up a video about them. How goes it? I mean, it goes. It goes is all I'll say. Yeah, you feel that? It's kind of the mood lately, I think. But yeah, hanging in there. Next week, since we have a few more people in the stream right now, next week there will not be a stream. I'm gonna be in New York City for another work event. I'm not gonna commit to streaming on the weekend when I get back, but if there happens to be just like a random stream on Saturday or Sunday, you're welcome ahead of time. In here they have heated trucks that are used to spread heated sand and gravel on icy roads. Yo, that's kind of crazy. Heated trucks. I feel like, I don't know. I wonder if the trucks around here are heated, because I feel like, you know how, okay, I don't know shit about cars, right? So correct me if I'm wrong. When you turn on the heat in your car, it just redirects heat from your engine into the inside of your car. Is that correct? Like, I wonder if like the trucks for the sand and stuff redirect the heat from the engine into the area that holds the stuff that goes on the ground. I don't know. Okay, those reps were a little fast, but it's fine. I got another 15. Hey, what's up, Deleuze? You went to the Olympia? No, I've never been to the Olympia. Remember to pack a Tyvek Type 2 biohazard, Type 4 biohazard prevention suit with the Type 5 filters will do. Long time no see. I've been streaming like every week, bro. You haven't seen me, probably means you haven't been on YouTube. The sand might be preheated and the trailer just keeps it warm. Nah, it's all good. No pressure. I'm just saying. Oh, I didn't write my reps from the last set. I think I also got 15. I'm not gonna check after stream. Although there was like a month and a half, maybe more, where I wasn't streaming because I was sick and recovering. So, could also be why you haven't seen me recently. But I've been back for like a month or so, I would say. But no, never been to the Olympia. Actually, was it in Vegas? I'm not like a big Vegas person. Like, I might go like, if it was like a group situation and we all decided we wanted to go to Vegas. I like the buffets, I like the food in Vegas. We were there the week before, but that was like 2 years ago. Yeah, like 2 years ago, we were in Las Vegas, but it was just like a friends thing. It wasn't for the Olympia. If I'm sick, maybe the cast can cover on streaming. They're pretty boring. They just lay there. You went with your dad too. It's not his style of city either. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a gambling person, but I like shows and I like food. So that like Vegas definitely has that going for it, but I find it like difficult to like get around. I don't really like to go on vacation and then also have to pay a ton of money to like travel at the place that I'm at for vacation. Do you know what I'm saying? think one of the reasons I like going to Tokyo so much is because the public transportation is like really easy to use. And because we stay in Tokyo, like when we want to go to an area that's, you know, not our immediate area, usually the train ride is like 30 minutes or less and it's like super cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like a couple dollars maybe. Yeah, exactly. Uber and Lyft fees are no joke. And just the way that like Las Vegas is set up, when you try to drive anywhere, like you have to like go around and around. In Vegas, you walk so much, you discovered the monorail, which helps. I feel like when we were there last, well, we got a hotel. We were at the Planet Hollywood, I think, which is pretty well centered on the strip. So we could easily walk to quite a few places, but there was a couple times that we went to places that were not on the strip that we wouldn't even have been able to take the monorail. So we did have to take like an Uber. But I'm saying like you had to like go like a whole big like this and that. So like literally the place would be probably only a couple blocks away, like laterally a couple blocks this way, but it ended up being like a 30-minute drive because they have to like weave in and out of all these like off roads and on roads and stuff. It's $250 per trip, like $250 per trip for Marta in Atlanta. I don't know what that means. I'm not familiar. If you're talking about Atlanta, Georgia, I'm not familiar with Atlanta, Georgia at all. I feel like maybe I drove through Georgia once with my dad, but I don't think we stopped if we did. Yeah, but I prefer, like if I'm going on vacation, I prefer to go to a place where I can kind of easily access stuff. Oh, $2.50. Yeah, I mean, I think generally speaking, like if you can take a bus or a train, it's not crazy expensive, but it's like kind of like a toss up of like speed and convenience versus cost, right? Also, I mean, if you're talking about like an everyday commute, I feel like $250 is not that bad. I definitely, when I had to take public transportation, I feel like it was maybe about that, maybe more, depending on where I was going. For like the bus, I used the bus a lot when I was didn't have a car or couldn't drive. I didn't get my driver's license till I was like 20 or so. So where I used to live when I was living with my parents, and like when I was a kid before I could get my license, I had like much more access to public transportation because I was closer to DC. There was a pretty good bus system in my area, but the farther away you get from DC, at least in Maryland, the worse the public transportation gets. At least that's what it seems like. I have a car now, so it doesn't really make sense for me to try to take public transportation in my area. But yeah. Honestly, I like taking public transportation when we're in Japan. It can get really crowded, but since we're on vacation, we don't necessarily have to travel during peak busy hours. So we just try to avoid peak busy hours. But it's nice when you're walking a lot, you can just like kind of chill on the train. Hopefully you can find a seat, or even if you're just standing, it feels less bad on your feet than like pounding the pavement. It's always nice when you can walk or ride a bike on services that are near you. Yeah. I think for my general rule when we're also in Japan is that if it's possible, if it's within like a 30-minute walk, a lot of times we will choose to walk rather than take the train, because it's kind of nice just to like experience the area. You'll see a lot of restaurants and like little shops that you might not have ever seen if you're just taking the train everywhere. I have not used a bullet train before. Joey's been on a bullet train though. Yeah, so if it's like within like half an hour of walking, a lot of times we'll just walk that, and then say, like if we feel really tired on the way back, then we'll take a train on the way home. I felt like the last time we went, I had really good walking stamina. Some years I'm not feeling so good, but I think I have kind of like a system, I guess, for how we get around. Like I said, you know, if it's within 30 minutes walking, we might walk just for like the scenery, but always try to take the train back home if it would just be like a repeat of scenery. Also, like, I always take 2 pairs of tennis shoes, because sometimes if I've been walking in the same shoes all day, if I just change my shoes, my feet will feel better. I don't know, like that's kind of like, maybe that's like a weird me thing, but I found that to be like really helpful. In the past, I have tried to bring like cute shoes and it's just like not worth it. Nowadays, I just bring my literal most comfiest shoes that I own, and I'll just bring 2 pairs of sneakers and maybe like 1 pair of like flip-flops or sandals in case we just want to like pop over to the convenience store. Yeah. This is the kind of stuff that I need to like just word vomit into the Tokyo vlog, the Japan vlog for 2024. Just like these like weird random tips. Yeah. Anyways, any other comments, questions, or concerns before I end the stream? I'm done with my workout. It's a pretty good workout. You know, once I got into the workout, my legs felt much less sore, which is good. Upper back, obviously, is still feeling it, but yeah, I think I went decently hard. Staying in Japan, expensive, meaning hotel fees. It really depends on like the hotel that you book. It also really depends on like the area that you're in. But for us, last year, and I already started looking at what we're gonna do this year, it's looking like I can get a hotel room at the same hotel we stayed in for 2024 for less than $100 a night for 2 people. So to me, that seems really affordable for staying at a decently nice hotel. I think it's a 3-star hotel, so that means it's like pretty good, but they're not gonna have like really super nice amenities or anything like that. And I will also say that we do not pay for the breakfast. So you can pay, I think, like $20 extra, $15 extra a day to get breakfast at the hotel restaurant, but we choose not to do that. So that saves us money there. But of course, we spend a lot of money on food when we're in Japan. I would say that's like the most we spend money on, is a lot of food. But you can find some like really affordable hotels. But that being said, I think my main tip for getting a hotel is to get one in an area that's not only close to a train station, but close to where there's lots of food options. We have stayed in hotels and Airbnbs that were farther from the train station. And at the end of a long day, like walking, it's really, really brutal, like walking from the station to your accommodations. So I always encourage people, like, find a place to stay that's really close to, like, not just any station, but like a major station. And find a hotel, like go on Google Maps and like look around, make sure there's food options in the area. Like, it's cool that if there's like convenience stores and stuff, but you really don't want to be wasting all of your stomach space on convenience store food like all the time. I mean, I definitely recommend you go to the convenience store and you get snacks and stuff, but like one of the reasons I didn't do like eating only convenience stores food for the day is because I think it's a waste. I honestly think it's a waste. You can go to so many restaurants and have like a fresh hot meal for so inexpensive. Like, you don't need to have an entire meal at a convenience store or on convenience store food. Hey, Tabs. So yeah, there are more expensive hotels in the area that we like to stay in that are literally like right on top of the train station. But I think we have found like kind of a good medium ground where we're very close, but not in a place that's even more expensive. Compared to like restaurant food, I don't know. I kind of agree and disagree. Because compared to like food in America, the cost of food in Japan is really inexpensive. Like, good quality food is like really inexpensive. A lot of times, like when you buy stuff at a grocery store, it can be more expensive than going to a restaurant. Like a full-on meal that you buy all the ingredients from the grocery store can sometimes be more expensive than just going to like a ramen shop. You know, the quality of the food might not necessarily be the same, but like it's a very strange situation. Saw this guy on YouTube that lives 72 hours on vending machine food in Japan. So I don't actually see a ton of like vending machine food in Japan. It's mostly like drinks. Often because you pay for the convenience at a convenience store. Yeah, I would agree. But like 2 liters, I think, maybe a liter of water, like a big bottle of water, is like less than $1 at a convenience store. Like a rice ball at a convenience store is like definitely $1 or less. USD, like converting like yen to USD, it's really inexpensive. And you probably would pay more at like a restaurant to get like better quality food. But yeah, it's kind of a weird situation. I really think that like if you are going to Japan, you should prioritize eating at restaurants, but don't skip the convenience store completely. Like, go try different drinks that you can't get in your country, try different snacks, different flavors of chips. Like, you have room, get different instant ramen cups, try them out. rice balls, stuff like that. Stuff that like is not available to you where you live, but like don't make it your priority for sure. Here's the other way around. Eating outside is always more expensive than shopping at the supermarket and making food at home. Yeah, I mean, I would say generally speaking, like that's the case in America as well, but there are like some things in Japan where it is cheaper for you to eat at restaurants than it is for you to cook at home. And there's a lot of cases where just like, it's insanely more convenient to just eat at a restaurant. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the way that people cook food in Japan. You would never make ramen at home. It's too many steps, it's too many ingredients and stuff like that. Like why would you try to cook ramen at home when you can get it for like $5 at the restaurant down the street, you know? You always pack for road trips so you can avoid stopping for food and only pay for gas. You'll take a meal prep and then take a big gallon jug to refill your water bottle and chicken salads. Yeah, things served cold. That makes a lot of sense. Good on you, bruh. Understand this is a Japan thing that you're referencing. Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, I definitely think convenience stores in America are very overpriced, but convenience stores in Japan, I think, are less overpriced. Trying to make a food at those miniature Japanese homes might also be a challenge, yeah. Okay, good night, Dark. Sleep well, hope you feel better. I will pet in the cats for you. Yeah, I will also say, like, the kitchen situation in a lot of apartments in Japan is like not great. Like small apartments in Japan have sometimes almost no kitchen at all, like no counter space, don't have like a built-in oven, or sometimes they just give you like one single burner. A lot of times they don't come with refrigerators, or there's only space for like a mini fridge. So a lot of, especially like single people, will eat out for almost every meal. So yeah. That's wild to imagine. It's like, I would say, I don't know how common it is, but it seems pretty common. But I mean, there's just like a lot of single people that it's not worth it for them to cook at home, I would say as well. Like when restaurants and stuff are so accessible, there's no point in like getting your kitchen all dirty. There's no kitchen but cup ramen filling. A lot of convenience stores, like not really like in big, like really busy parts of Tokyo, but kind of more in the suburbs when you get out from like the main city centers. The convenience stores will actually have ramen making stations for like cup noodles and stuff like that, where they have hot water available, they have microwaves, and they have like seating areas, so you can just like make your ramen there. Even like the hotel that we stayed at in 2024, they had a mini fridge in the hotel room and a hot water maker. Like if we wanted, we could have easily made instant ramen in the hotel room. But since we're staying in like a big city area, none of the convenience stores around us had the ramen making areas. But I've seen them in videos. But yeah, I don't know if anybody like specifically cares, but I follow this channel. Let me see if I can find it. If you're interested in seeing like really tiny Japanese apartments, a micro apartment life. Here, I'll link the channel for you. I like these videos a lot. I think they're really interesting to see. I also like to see like He has a couple videos about how he lives specifically in a micro apartment. And like he did one a few months ago where he like did a cost breakdown of exactly how much it costs him to live. And I think it's really interesting. I just like watching the videos. I don't think I could ever live in a micro apartment, but I think it's interesting. It's really interesting to see like the different layouts. Some of them are like very confusing. So like this person, he doesn't really have a full-on kitchen. His room is basically like a square. When you walk in, his bed takes up most of the square footage, and he's got like a washer dryer in the corner, and he's got like a toilet room, but he doesn't have a sink in the toilet room. He has to use his kitchen sink for like brushing his teeth and everything like that. And he doesn't have a refrigerator at all. He had a mini fridge for a while, but I think he got rid of it because it wasn't worth keeping. He has like no real area to like prep food. He just has some like shelf stable stuff in a cabinet. Chris gets a micro apartment, 99% of it would be a home gym. No, couldn't be me. It would be more of like a home office probably. You got a micro desk fridge once for your last job. Nice. It'll be like an entire wall full of like computer monitors. I have 4 monitors on my desk and a laptop and 2 keyboards. So yeah, but like I said, I actually really like that YouTube channel. I think it's a fun watch. The videos are very chill, very interesting. Anyways, any other comments, questions, or concerns before I log off for the night? We might be having pizza for dinner. Those are super convenient, especially because our warehouse was probably like 5,000 square feet and you had to walk 3 minutes just to get to the other fridge. Oh, damn. Yeah, I'm glad you had that. Would love to have a miniature fridge. I have a mini fridge in my office that I don't use. If I could send it to you, I would. Pizza for dinner sounds so good. I think I have a good amount of calories. Lately, I've been like pretty good with my maintenance calories, even though like we'll have pizza and stuff sometimes. I'm usually able to just like make it straight fit in my calories without going over too much. I think we have some free pizzas from Domino's. Pizza is always good. I never don't want pizza, to be honest. What's your maintenance? Sorry, let me answer this message. So let's see, this is where I'm at on MyFitnessPal. So right now it has me set at 2,092 calories, 136 protein, 69 fat, nice, and 229 carbs. So I'm using Macro Factor and I'm letting it give me a program week to week. I've been overeating a little bit recently, so it has been reducing my calorie intake a little bit, which is understandable. But I would say my maintenance is around 21 to 2,200. And so this is what I'll say about Macro Factor. I have found that the macro and calorie recommendations have been pretty accurate. So I used it all through my cut and I was really successful. Obviously, I talked about how I got sick and I had to end my cut early, but I followed the calorie recommendations pretty well and it helped me lose like 15 pounds, 10 to 15 pounds, right? I I think that if you want to use the macro and calorie recommendations, it is definitely worth the price. For me, it was worth the price. And like 100%, I could have done my own macros easily. So easily, I could have done my own macros, but it took so much mental strain away from me to just let the app do it for me. 100% let the app do it for me. I really like that. And like I said, I found it to be pretty accurate. So if you specifically want that part of the app, I think it's worth the money. Okay, here are the caveats. If you only want it for tracking food, don't bother. Don't use it, use something else. There's plenty of free apps that you can use for strictly tracking calories. Honestly, I could probably recommend or help people figure out their calorie intake and macros easily. Honestly, Acro could also do the same thing. Diet could also do the same thing. It's not that hard. It's just something you have to monitor, something you have to be consistent with. The actual tracking of food in Macro Factor, I have found to be a little frustrating, especially because I have paid for this app. Although, I mean, real talk, it was like $70 for an entire year. That doesn't seem like that unreasonable to me, you know, when you price it out per month. But a lot of the foods, even when I scan, if the food shows up in the app, somebody already logged it, a lot of the stuff I'm finding to be inaccurately tracked or inaccurately logged, which I find really frustrating. So a lot of times I'm having to add my own foods into the app, which takes time and energy and is annoying. Even though I wasn't paying for my MyFitnessPal, I could easily just search by name for most of the things that I was eating. Easy, because there's so many people using MyFitnessPal. There's such a huge database of products. It was really easy, even without scanning items, to find what I needed. So that's one thing I would say. If you only want it for tracking your calories or your food intake, not worth paying for Macro Factor. But I will also say that you have to be willing to take the time to set up a strategy and fill in all the stuff to get the most out of Macro Factor. So you have to set your goals. You have to tell it exactly what you want. If you're not willing to take the time to do that, it's not going to be very accurate. So I have mine set to, let's see. So I have my diet preference as balanced, but they have an option for low fat, low carb, or keto. The calorie floor, do you prefer? I did a standard floor, which means it will never recommend less than 1,200 calories. And for me, I don't think I could mentally survive on less than 1,200 calories. And then I told it that I do lifting, but they have options for none or relaxed activity, cardio and lifting. Obviously, I'm a lifting person. And then I prefer my calories to be distributed evenly, so the same amount across every day, but you can shift your calories. And then when it comes to protein intake, I have mine set to high. That being said, I typically eat way more than it recommends me for protein. So I follow basically the calorie intake, and my protein is usually 150 to 180 grams a day. My fat is 40 to 70, 40 to 80 grams a day, and the rest is carbs. But you have to be willing to take the time to do these things. So, I mean, it still gave me the same program because that's what I had before. But over time, it will figure out what you're doing and make recommendations based on that. So I also log my body weight every single day, okay? And I track it in the app. As long as I have access to a scale, I track my weight every single day, and that helps the algorithm estimate my calorie expenditure. How many calories is that from protein? From the protein grams? I'm not sure, to be honest. I never take that into account. This week you're having a harder time hitting your protein goals, but you're making adjustments. I mean, if you're having a hard time hitting your protein goals because of whatever you have going on in your life, just know that, like, unless you're in like a super steep cut, you're probably okay if you're hitting, I don't know, I would say for you, Tabs, if you're like even between like 80 and 100 grams of protein, you're probably more than okay. Yeah, so you have to be like really on top of it. And I will also say that if you are not good at logging your food, Macro Factor is not gonna be able to estimate your energy expenditure very well, right? You have to really be on top of it. I have in my planner every Sunday to make sure that I have every possible thing logged that it needs to be logged. Because if you're underestimating your calorie intake, and you're gaining weight, it's gonna drop your calories. You wanna be as accurate as possible. What else would I say? Basic formula, 1 gram of protein for 4 calories, so around 600 to 720 for 150 to 180 grams. Yeah, so this is what my nutrition has looked like recently. I would say this is the last month. So you can see on days where I'm not tracking, I just completely cut that day out. And you can see what my proteins, fats, and carbs are looking like. And even on days when I'm way over, I still track so that MyFitnessPal can accurately estimate my expenditure. And that's really, really important. I mean, Macro Factor. Yeah, it's really, really important to accurately track whether you're under calories or over calories. The food you made wasn't as much as you thought, and you're right, you still have room, just not many snacks at home, but you know for next week how much to make, yeah. Macro Factor uses more complicated formulas than that, but it'll be in that ballpark, yeah. So I would say for me and my mental health, I basically only go by calories and protein. So I have a calorie goal and I try to reach a certain amount of protein, and the fats and the carbs just kind of like fall where they may. And that honestly works for me. When I am losing weight, I don't do any cardio. I follow the same strategy and I just reduce my calories. And I keep my protein about the same, and the carbs and the fats, they kind of just do whatever. And I'm the kind of person that likes to eat fattier foods. So I typically don't get into the range of being too low fat, because you get too low fat and your hormones are fucked, right? So I don't usually have a problem with that. It's always the carbs that take a hit, you know? I don't know if what I was saying was helpful or made any sense at all. I'm word vomiting at this point, but yeah. So there are pros and cons to Macro Factor. I think you have to really do an analysis of yourself. You know, are you going to be consistent with your tracking? Are you going to be accurate with your tracking? Are you going to really take the time to like measure your foods, log your foods, track your foods, all that stuff? If you're not, if you have had trouble with that before, then I would probably suggest using a free app, unless using a paid app is going to motivate you to do it because you spent money on it, right? I also think that if you're the kind of person that takes psychic damage from seeing the number on a scale, I don't necessarily think that Macro Factor is right for you. don't necessarily think that tracking in general is right for you. You know, if you're having like a really hard time with these things, you might consider seeking some kind of professional mental help before jumping into like a fitness transformation journey. Because I mean, I can tell you as somebody that is generally mentally healthy, I have a decently good relationship with my own body and with food. It can be really hard on your mental, like thinking so much about your calories, your food intake, your weight all the time. So like get your mental health right first, and then jump into something like this. I will also say people don't necessarily need a calorie tracking and macro tracking app to make a transformation. Personally, I find it easier. I don't think that I would be able to lose weight unless I was using something like this, but there are ways around it. You know, you can get meal plans, you can work with a coach, you can use portion control, or you can use an elimination diet, which I don't love personally. But what I'm trying to say is that the way that I do it is not necessarily the way that you should do it. There's a lot of factors in mind. A lot to consider all the time. Yeah, I agree. And also, personally speaking, to protect my own mental health, I do not track my calories all year round. When I go on vacation, I go crazy. It's not necessarily healthy, but I eat as much food as possible, anything I want when I'm on vacation. Usually when I'm on vacation, that's the only time of year I'm drinking like real sugar sodas and stuff like that. Otherwise, I'm always drinking diet. So you have to like have some kind of like balance in your life, I think. But I'm not trying to tell you what to do. Anyways, hopefully that helped. Yeah, if y'all have any other specific questions, can leave them in the description on this video, or, you know, I do have a Discord. It's linked in the description. Oh, wait, leave comments in the comments section. I'll do my best to get to those as long as I get the notification for it. But I do have a Discord that you can come to and ask questions in the Discord. Oh, by the way, how are diet sodas? You heard from your friends that they can be unhealthy, but you've used them for a long time. I mean, this is the way that I see it. I take, I would say, a pragmatic approach to all things diet and nutrition, right? Yes, sodas, diet sodas, most things we eat are just chock full of chemicals, but literally everything we eat is genetically modified, full of pesticides, full of chemicals, this and that. I have not seen any negative side effects from drinking diet sodas, but that's just me. Some people do. And if you suspect that you're having negative side effects from drinking diet sodas, probably not drink them, to be honest. But at the end of the day, drinking diet sodas helps with my mental health, and it also helps with my weight management. So for me, that's all around a plus, and I will continue to drink diet sodas for the foreseeable future. Personally, I do try to limit myself to about 3 a day, and I make myself drink like a full bottle of water in between sodas, because I really need to focus on hydration for my overall health, especially because I'm taking creatine. It also really affects my skin. aspartame is pretty well studied at this point. Not really a problem with them in diet sodas, if that's what you're worried about. Yeah, so I mean, I would say also, like, I'm not an expert and I'm not a scientist and I have not read studies about it. That's something that you can look into if you're genuinely worried about it. But from my own personal experience, I have not had problems with diet sodas or sugar alternatives. There's a 4-hour podcast from Stronger by Science that does a deep dive on aspartame if you're interested. Stronger by Science is like a really good channel. I think they have a YouTube channel, right? A lot of times people are concerned about things because they've seen a lot of like pseudoscience and people on the internet that aren't necessarily qualified to like talk about stuff. So I'm not trying to say that I'm qualified to talk about stuff, but has your friend actually done research on the subject and concerned about you with science to back it? Or did they just hear that diet sodas have chemicals that might hurt you? I don't know. Yeah, that's what I would say. I mean, I'll be real, like I know somebody IRL who is technically they are a doctor and they refuse to use sugar substitutes, but at the same time, they drink a lot of alcohol. And I'm just like very confused because there's no like scientific evidence that sugar substitutes actually affect you health-wise for most people, but alcohol is a literal poison. So yeah, it's just like, I take a pragmatic approach to it. And for me, diet soda and sugar substitute has worked for a long time. I did for a while think that aspartame was killing my stomach. And then I figured out that I just have anxiety. You think that they looked into it, but you're not sure at what the studies are, so you'd be best to look into it yourself. Yeah, I mean, I can tell you as somebody who's been drinking diet sodas for years and years, I really haven't had any issues, but that's just me. There's somebody in the Ape Discord that said that sugar substitutes, specifically sucralose, causes them to sweat profusely and abnormally, but I've never had that issue. Apparently it's like a known thing that happens. So if you're having sweating problems, maybe it's the aspartame or the sucralose. But if you yourself have not experienced any side effects, you're probably fine. You know, it's kind of like, I see it as also like creatine. Some people get really fucked up using creatine. It's like very few people. A lot of times people that say they feel bloated or have bad side effects from creatine probably are not really prioritizing like their overall health in general. Most likely they're not drinking enough water, because you need to be drinking a lot of water if you're taking creatine. Yeah. For people that have gut issues from sugar substitute, but you haven't had any issues yet. Yeah. When I tell you, I legitimately thought aspartame was fucking up my stomach. Like, I stopped drinking diet sodas for a while, or I was only drinking diet sodas that had sucralose. And then, yeah, I straight up just had anxiety about leaving the house. And I had anxiety about food because I was so worried that I was gonna have stomach problems that I would make myself sick. And basically I just pushed through it. I just pushed through it to the point where I could leave the house and not feel like I was gonna shit myself. You know, I would just keep eating the stuff that I thought was making me sick until it didn't. And I'm not necessarily saying like that you should do this, but yeah, it was not the aspartame, it was anxiety. You try to get at least a gallon a day on creatine, that's awesome, Tabs. People say that pre-made Fairlife protein shakes make you feel weird and nauseated. You might just have an aversion to the taste of milk. They're lactose free, so even people that are lactose intolerant shouldn't really have trouble drinking them. But yeah, if you just like don't, if the thought of milk makes you feel gross, I can see why Fairlife protein shakes would make you feel sick. Sometimes the thought of something will make me feel sick. Generally, you don't have a problem with dairy though. I don't know then. Who can say? But yeah, I mean, don't drink them if they make you feel weird. Yeah, I mean, if somebody is lactose intolerant, definitely don't use milk protein because it's probably gonna fuck you up, bro. Even most people that are lactose intolerant can't have like whey protein either because it's, you know, derived from like milk products. So I have no problem with milk or Fairlife. I will say I don't love warm Fairlife protein shakes. Like, I know they're shelf stable, but they're not fun to drink when they're warm. Like, please refrigerate your Fairlife protein shakes. You finally finished the case. You hate letting it go to waste. I know, it's bad. It feels bad also because they're like, I think they're fairly priced. I don't think that they're like super expensive for what they are. They have an insane amount of protein. And I mean, for a protein shake, they taste really good. They're not gritty, but they're not cheap either. So I would also hate to let those go to waste. Anyways, okay, I'm leaving for real. Don't forget to be responsible for your own gains. Don't be a dick, control your cock. Questions, comments, concerns in the comment section, or you can come to my Discord, ask them there. If you haven't subscribed and you're liking my content, you can subscribe here. If you want to keep the vibes going, this is what the YouTube algorithm is recommending you. Or you can check out the entire playlist of past live streams and just fucking vibe. Okay, bye everyone.